We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Women Empowered Across the World podcast once again. And today we've got a fantastic hosting team, Carol Witt, Jackie Zaccoli, and Susie Cheso. And we just want to also, before we even get the show started, send out some love to Wumi. We were going to interview her this evening or today, but she's unfortunately being mom to a daughter in hospital. So we're sending all our love and best wishes out to Wumi and the family. So today we are going to improvise a little bit, and the four of us are going to just be chatting about pivotal moments happening in our lives that led us to the place we're in. So first, before we get to that, I just want all our hosts to introduce themselves, tell everyone about who you are, where you're from, and what it is that you do. So Carol, do you want to go ahead and start?
Sure. Hi, my name's Carol Witt, and I'm the founder and the director for YEA Global. It's a coaching program that teaches people that they can thrive, they deserve to thrive. And I am from Florida. Well, I'm in Florida now. I'm from Chicago, and just got over a big hurricane. Um, yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Thanks, Carol. Susie.
Hello, I'm Susie Teresa. I'm the CEO and founder of iCode Expo. We are all about youth and all about enhancing agriculture through ICT and so many other programs, especially in Africa and in other countries. And yeah, I am struggling a little bit with the cold today, but we are there. We keep on going. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Jackie, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jackie Zaccoli and located in Arizona, though my heart is in Liberia and the rest of Africa, and globally working to bring resources to the underserved populations of the world so that they can become self-sustainable and be able to create their own lives to increase love, prosperity, and peace.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. That's fantastic. And last but not least, my name is Megan. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and my big focus is global literacy. So I'm here to make an impact, positive impact in that space. I am a very, very passionate entrepreneur, but my main focus is improving the state of current literacy and future literacy in our world. So that is our space here. And ladies, let's get episode 6 started. So I'm going to just call on anyone to start the conversation. So I'm looking for those pivotal moments that really shaped who you are today. And it can be anything from 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever it is that actually started putting you on this path. Can you think back to that moment and go, I know what that moment is. So Jackie, Carol's got her hand up already. Okay, Carol, jump in for us, please.
All right. So for me, the pivotal moment for me was that I got very unsatisfied with my life, in that I wanted to somehow find a purpose in life. And I went searching and I found it. I was introduced to the Landmark Forum, and I went into this forum, which is like 3 days and an evening, at like a hotel, but now it's all online. And I said I was looking for my purpose, and I came out of that seminar and I knew what my purpose was, which was whatever I was going to do in life, it was going to make a difference for other people. And then it led me to YEA, in creating YEA, and then enriching my life and writing a book, and making a difference in 50 guys. We're now in 53 countries. We just brought India on. So
whoa.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. Thanks, Carol, for sharing. I think what's so amazing about that is, you always hear people saying, go and find your purpose, and various people will tell you, you've got to do the introspection, and you've got to do that self work and figure things out as you go along. And for you, it was a matter of walking into the right space at the right time and being able to fit the pieces together. I'm always fascinated by the fact that people can actually, in so many different ways, just pop into the right space, and there it is.
And I think too, though, Megan, that you actually have to have a focus towards something.
Yes.
And I knew what the missing in my life was. I didn't feel like I had any kind of purpose. Why was I here? And so that question just kept coming up for me. And I started on my journey of looking, really and truly looking, and the doors opened. And I told people I was looking for a purpose. So I shared it with different people. I was looking for a purpose, and the doors opened. But I think it doesn't just drop in your lap. I think you really do want to start searching for yourself. If you have a question that keeps coming up for yourself and over and over and over, it's demanding an answer.
Right, listen, yes.
And I went looking for that answer, and I found it, and I'm so grateful and thankful I did. Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling to be able to stand in that space and go, I've got this, It's jumped out at me, it's calling me, and I'm answering, because we know that when you share it with so many people and the universe knows about it, the universe conspires and it starts sending people your way, opportunities your way. And I'm sure many people can relate to that. So Jackie, would you like to pop into the conversation here?
Sure. There's one really big pivotal moment in my life, and I really wasn't searching for purpose. I was just meandering and doing coaching and stuff. However, it did appear in my life. And when an indigo person who's here for the second time said that I was here to change humanity, was enough of a spark just in one sentence for me to be open and to realize what that looked like, and to create my mantra and to be able to actually act on it. So it was what opened the door to the other people who came along. The International Youth Parliament. So youth were the foundation of the people I wanted to assist, and then finding out what they need, and that literacy was the first of the 4 steps. And then to have the literacy app to be able to work with to satisfy that, and to know that that literally will change humanity as we know it. That boost to get my purpose going led to all the other people, of which all of you on this screen are very much a part of the expansion and the strength that will now be coming forward.
Absolutely. I must just mention there that I love the use of the word meandering, because I think that's one way that I love to explain my journey. So I'm one of those people. I like to think about things carefully. I consider the options, and I'm really thoughtful as a person. And to the dismay of many of my coaches, I think at some point it was just like, Megan, can we just move along? Can we just think about this and just move along? It's just, Megan, can we focus on one thing? But in that moment, it's like, nope, I haven't gotten the green light yet, so nothing's moving yet, right? And I meander along and try everything else and explore here and there. And the next moment, the light goes green and off I go. So I love the fact that you brought that word into the conversation, Jackie. All right, Susie, do you want to share with us?
I'm struggling to breathe now, as she said. I am breathing, I'm struggling. But the vital moment in my life actually was not something expected. It was very bad, but turned to be very good. It started by, when I was like back home, I was very money oriented. I was all about money, till this incident happened. And the incident where I got the money to go and buy a machine for my company, and thief the thief met me in the taxi and then took the money and threw me out of the taxi. I think that is the moment that changed my whole life and whole perception. That was
Yes.
so drastic. I think I had to sit, and I think I talked about it in the podcast, but that moment I had to sit and revisit what is the priority. And
Yes.
in all of that hectic transition that I was going through, I remember I said to the podcast, the only way to learn is when you're down. This is the moment you have to learn. And at that moment, my focus just directly drifted without even me knowing, from I want to be successful, I want to have money, to how can I impact the people around me. It's not all
Awesome.
about the money. That money can go. That money, like, it can disappear, like it just happened, and you could die in that taxi, but you didn't. They could
Yes.
have done rape you or something, but they didn't, and you were alive and you were in good health.
Right.
So it's not about, and that's the moment I realized that it's not about my success. It's not about the money I get, because I would die and leave all of this, but it's not about the impact I live on earth. So from there, as I said, I drifted from the money mindset and businessman mindset to how can I be impactful? How can I be useful to the society as a whole? So that is where I started do volunteering for NGOs and being really, really into it. I used to volunteer before, but I wasn't into it at all. But I started volunteering and putting my all in it. And that is where everything started. I think that moment was a tragic moment. My mother always tell me, I don't know how you got up from it. But I tell her that was a shift I couldn't imagine. And I told her I must write a book about it, how the worst moment of your life can tend to be the how can I say, the lighting point of your future. But yeah, that was mine.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And just coming back to the point you made there, Susie, about anything could have happened to you, but you came out of it unscathed.
Mm.
I almost want to say. And so moments like that just make you think. So what was this all about? What's the deeper meaning to this? What's behind all of this? And I'm not sure if I'm the only one that thinks like that, but for me, when these things happen, I tend to pay very careful attention to those moments, because there's always a very strong lesson in that. And I think that's been one of my biggest lessons in this over the last few years, just really listening into that intuitive side and just taking more notice of what's going on in my space. A lot of my aha moments have been with hindsight, and now I'm finding more and more I'm living in that moment and feeling it in that moment. And like Jackie always goes, goosebumps, right? I've sat in meetings with Jackie, and Jackie just goes, oh, goosebumps. So yes, we all feel that. For sure. Kendall, go
Yes.
ahead.
So there's one more really pivotal moment in my life, and I want to really speak to our audience inside of it. And that is this, guys. There were 3 times in my life when I was creating YEA that it did not look the way I thought it should. And it was going in a different direction and I felt like I was not in control and out of control around it. And I wanted to quit. And I went to my mom, and rest in peace, Mom, but she made such a difference for me, because she grabbed my hands. I was crying and saying, Mom, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. I want to quit. And she grabbed my hands and she said, Dear one, she said, take quitting off the table as an option. Now what? And what it did for me, and this was 3 times that I did this, I came to her and she said the same thing to me every time. She said, now what? And what it did for me is this: it had me stop looking for a way or an excuse out, and had me start looking for what's the next action for me to take. And
Yes.
guys, if I had at one time quit YEA wouldn't be around now. It
Yes.
wouldn't be in 53 countries now, and it wouldn't be making big, huge differences in so many communities in Africa, in other countries. And so So that was a really big thing for me, is don't let quitting be an option. Don't have it be in your mindset that you're going to create something and you're just going to quit it if it doesn't work. And
Right.
that's what I loved about Susie's story, because she faced lots of obstacles, lots of challenges, and her mindset was quitting is not an option here. I am moving forward. I am going to be unstoppable. And if I can share that with everybody out there, don't quit what you're passionate about, what you know you want to take forward. Don't quit it because of obstacles or challenges. Have an quitting is not an option mindset. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think if anyone knows, you would know this. It's not just going to go away because you feel like quitting, right? It's going to pester you and follow you around and be your bed partner for eternity until you turn back to it anyway. So it won't just go away. And I think one of the things for me that was really pivotal over the last few years in this business, well, just the acceptance of who I am, how I want to do things, and just doing it the way I want to do it, because it was a matter of this is where I want to get, but I'm not wanting to take that route, and I'm trying to figure this route out, and I want to explore that route first. And the moment I gave myself up to that, things just started to flow. And so, the alignment with people, the right places, the right projects all came along, because in that moment, I call it the moment of surrender, because we've lost Susie for a moment. I think she might pop back in a second. But that moment of surrender, I remember one year, it was the year before last, I was running into the same wall every single month. It felt like in my business, I was just running into that same wall. And I realized that something's got to give. So something needed to change, and I wasn't sure what. And I just kept exploring different options until the door opened. So I think it's a matter of just stepping in there, figuring out what feels right in that moment. Because I always say you can make that decision for the now and not know what it's going to bring about. But that decision for that moment is the best one you can make, and it will create more action. So just do something.
I want to stand on what Megan said. I always tell people that the vision was greater than the person. That is when people don't know. I used to tell them I left Aricodes. Well, I actually left it at a certain point, and I was like, let me focus on my life and do something of my life. The vision was so big that it drew me back.
Yes.
I could not even sleep at night. I was like, I always thinking about it. Then it drew me back to like this is where you belong. So when you find it and when you find it and it becomes part of you, it can never leave you. It will always draw you back to that. Remember what I told you at the beginning. It's like remember what I was like, okay,
Yes.
can I not leave this thing? I can eat my money. I tell people I could stay in my house, eat my money and relax because I'm not suffering. But the vision is calling you back all the time. It's like you come here and then you're like, okay, if you don't answer to the call, you will not you still have the sleepless night. I was like, you know what? I want to sleep. I
Yes.
want to have a mind that is at peace. Then I went back to the vision. Now you have sleepless night because of your vision, not because the vision is now calling you, but it's because you're in the vision and you're making things work. And now you have the sleepless night, but it's worth it. Like sleepless night, you feel happy having that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have to agree with that. It's so worth it when you are in that space, and so worth burning the midnight oil every now and again, and just, really putting in the grind. So yeah, it does make a difference whether you're doing it with your vision and your passion or not.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Because
And
it's not a job you can quit. It's not a job. Like it is not a
exactly.
job you can quit. You cannot quit. It's part of you. So even if you quit, it will still come back till you decide to go into it. And certain people, they have that calling and they refuse it for so long, for years, years and years. And then the time to fulfill it, the same strength, they don't have it anymore. And so if you're watching this podcast, I want to tell you, if you have that calling, Please answer to it. Once you answer to that calling, the provision will follow, but the provision doesn't precede you. Never. The provision will not come before you say yes. You will say yes, then the provision, the people that will support the vision, the connection will follow the decision. So please say yes. Answer yes to that call. Answer yes to I want to be that great businesswoman. Answer yes to I want to be that, I want to own my big shop. Just answer yes to the call and take steps. It's little steps at a time. Just one
Yeah.
step at a time. And I promise you, the finance will follow. I promise you, the people are waiting for you to manifest to that level to be able to follow.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I always say,
Keep.
build it and they will come.
They will come.
Build
They will
it
come.
Yeah.
and they will come. And
They will
it
come.
Yes.
that is exactly what shows up. Build it and they will come.
They will come.
Yeah. You'll draw the people that are on board with you. You'll draw them to you. They will come to you. And that is
Yes.
what's happening with YEA. Oh
That's
my
true.
goodness. Yeah.
So true.
That
They say
that
when the,
yes.
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Susie.
I want to say that's the same thing that when you have an idea, a lot of people, Carol, I want to say, stay long on, I want to make this idea perfect. You will never have an idea at the initial that is perfect. That is something sure and an assurance. Please, when you have the idea, do like me. Once I have an idea, I put it out immediately. I don't sit back to think of how this is going to pass. I had the podcast idea. I put out immediately. I put the idea immediately without even telling the farmers I'm going to interview you. I'm like, podcast out. And then the farmers were like, please interview me. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to put you on the list. Now I have to plan how this is going to work. But I put it out there immediately because once you put it out, the people are waiting to receive that information. But if you keep it and wait to polish it and make it perfect, I can tell you it will take you longer than just putting it out. Just put it out there. You meet the right people. Like Jackie. Jackie is the best connection of all the connections. She will connect you to people and you'll be like, wow. And you have YA, the mindset and things like this. And you have Megan that is teaching you these little things that you need to know. But please, if you have an idea as a woman, or I don't know, no matter who you are, even if you're 16 years old, I'm a proof that you can be great at a very young age. So even if you're 16 years old, please put it out there and I'm sure people will come to it. People will come to you. Thank you.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for that, Susie. And they say when the purpose is clear, the how becomes easy, right? So the why is clear, the how becomes easy. I love that little quote. And then I think we've got a few minutes left. So what I want to find out from each of you to sort of round off this conversation, maybe telling our audience what it is in your space. So all of you were sharing before we went live here about little great things that have been happening for you this week and happening in your respective spaces. So maybe let us just pull people in on what's coming, what's happening in our respective spaces and our combined spaces. How about that?
Awesome. Okay.
Sure.
Go
I'll
for
share.
it, Carol.
All right. So
Yes.
super excited for all the amazing things that are showing up with YEA. We do an introduction call every week to build for the course that starts October 17th. And that call usually has between maybe 20, 22. Guys, we had 47 yesterday. 47 on our call yesterday. And out of that 47, 15 registered for the October program. Many of them Susie invited. Thank you, Susie.
Amazing.
Amazing what is happening. And that is you build it, they'll come. You don't have to worry about who your market is, who the people they will come. They will come. So believe,
Yes.
number one, believe in yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. And then you got to take the action. It doesn't just happen without any action. So that for me is really and truly what keeps showing up. And Susie, just like you said, do it now. Don't wait. Don't wait till it's perfect. Do it now. Just start taking some action and the ball starts rolling. The momentum starts happening. And then pretty soon you
Yes.
just got to get out of its way. And then we've been in 52 countries, and we just had India come on with 3 students from India from Dubai. And we are now in 53 countries. Yes.
Wow.
So,
That's
and this
amazing.
podcast, I am sending it to the woman that came on and brought her friends in because she is a young student in college. This is going to so inspire her. And she is trying to create a business for herself, a fashion business for herself online. So, this is so going to be inspiring to her. Yeah.
Yes, love it. Thank you very much for sharing that, Carol. Susie, do you want to go next? What's happening in your
Yes. Actually, this week I just came back from a trip. I think that's why I'm sick. The plane, it was too cold.
Probably.
But that's why. But there was such a transition once I came back. You know, in agriculture, I used to put a lot of effort doing things like myself and all this. The shift has gone on another dimension. Like I don't even have to say things to be done. A lot of country coordinators are carrying the work themselves. They're just informing me. So I was so grateful to be at that position where I'm not more the initiator. I'm just they just inform me. They're like, "Madam, this is what we are doing, madam," and I'm like, do it. This is what I was waiting for. Just do it. Just do it exactly with the way you're planning it. And this week I've noticed also that I speak less and things are done. Like I don't even have to
Hmm.
come. I can say this is an event and post the flyer, and the 2 days people are answering present. They don't need me to keep writing and texting the group. So my silence for 1 week, because I was silent because I traveled, my silence made them awake, and I didn't even understand how that is possible. And I really, really thank the Lord for his great doing. And also oh, the new ideas, the Harvest Hero podcast is taking, like, I was able this week to buy the instrument for the podcast, like the podcast instrument, the mic, this thing, just like that. Like somebody just said, send the money so that I can buy it. And I was like, wow, amazing. And as I said, once you have the idea, the money follows. And yeah, and this week I was, because of Carol, I remember Carol put me in connection with Geneva, and Geneva just presented me to anybody. It's like I'll present you to everybody, and just the connection keep increasing. My LinkedIn is full of messages because of this podcast. Actually, a lot of people watch this podcast. Even my family, they watch the podcast and they were like you're a star. And I'm like, please calm down, please calm down. But yeah, because of this podcast, a lot of things have been happening. So Carol, great job. Really, this is working in exposing us women to the world, exposing what we are doing to the world. So I want to say thank you, Carol, for the amazing work you're doing. Thank you so much. That is for me for this week.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, Susie. Jackie.
Well, I don't know where to start, but I think I better start with something pretty important because don't want to forget it. I gave a talk on Tuesday to the Lions Club. And I think all of you know of the Lions Club.
Mhm.
And they had asked, could you give us some pointers on how to be more in the community?
Oh,
So
Yes.
I put my little heart into that, and they have 8 pillars. I gave them resources in all 8 pillars that, should they choose to be able to work through those, these are the people to contact. Well, they thought I walked on water by the time they got through. And the fellow that was there was like Mr. Connection himself. And he said, this is a gold mine. I said, yeah. However, one of these is on agriculture and the environment. And I thought maybe I would recommend Susie because she gave the courses on how to do that, that they could work in unison so that the Lions clubs all over the world might be able to understand a little better how they could involve youth in what they're doing. Now,
Awesome.
and then this morning's miracles, yeah, well, I'll do the other and then I'll do this morning's miracles. As you know, I've been working with the Footsteps to Brilliance app. And on Monday, I will be giving a presentation to the Friends of Liberia, which is a group that for about 60 years, basically, have been helping the people of Liberia. And we've been at odds at a certain degree because they had their own educational ways of approaching the people. And I love what they do, don't get me wrong, and they do wonderful things. But finally, I talked to someone who said, let's discuss how you can bring the app in. And I went, okay. So Monday, I'm excited to start again. And I have 3 people in Liberia that are interested anyway, to start that loop of really bringing my existence back
Yes.
in a full circle to 66 and 68, essentially, when I was there, to be able to really fulfill the literacy. I hope this will work. So that's that. The 2 miracles this morning, as I opened up my emails, Pakistan is more than ready to do footsteps.
Nice.
And they have the people ready to do that. And they showed me the people. And so that looks extremely promising. And then the last is, and you're going to love this, one of the people that I have been coaching for, we figured out it's probably 8 years easily, close to 8, almost 8 years, was one of the first ones in Congo, Christian. He wanted to talk to me. I mean, it's been a while since we caught up, so on and so forth. And what he now is doing, instead of creating a nonprofit to help others to get vocational jobs, he's not doing that. He instead has created a website that is LUKUNI, which is a location in Congo.
Yes.
And it's filled with not only malachite jewelry, all kinds of precious stones, all types of things. It's a beautiful site. And he wants to be the main pivot point for my impactful artisan network.
Oh, wow.
He has it figured out how
That's
to get things shipped to the United States,
Mm.
because most of the customers are from the United States and the products are gorgeous. And he says, bring them to me. I will give them a page each to have their own sites on my site.
Wow.
And I said, well, this is another part of the formula that I had hoped to be able to create. And since he's already pioneered it,
yes.
and he'll coach him on how to do it, that this will be a very large part of hopefully bringing the money over to the literacy platform to get the projectors for each of the countries that we touch so that the literacy can come in.
Oh,
So you
fantastic.
guys are all part of that.
Well,
You're every ounce of all of that. And Spirit of the Game has, in all of its infinite wisdom. Yeah, it's the remote community education working group is kind of what it is. I know those aren't the words, but sufficient. And he's addressing 2 people to work with me, and anyone else that wants to. Of course, Renata will be part of that, because, and I hope that Megan will too. So the point will be that we'll put a little bit more skin in the game, so to speak, to go around. And I've committed to Christian that I will work in the 4 countries, one of which is South Africa, Kenya, Congo, Uganda.
I am fine, but I wanted to say the 4 countries you named, we are actually doing amazing in those 4 countries. Like if you want to have the people, we have so many students from Uganda actually in
Do you?
in ICOD Expo, and South Africa too. Like we have so many people from South Africa.
Okay.
RDC,
Okay.
we have a whole huge team. Like RDC is our biggest team in Congo, and you named another country?
Yeah. Well, there's Kenya, Uganda,
Kenya,
South
Kenya.
Africa, And
Yeah, I have
that
many
would just
students
be
in all of those
those
countries.
most in
Yeah.
Congo. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. We
yeah,
have
yeah.
like amazing
Okay.
farmers and teachers, even especially in Uganda, we have a lot of teachers. And I remember we just did a partnership with the school actually to do a training in Uganda. So Uganda is it like Kenya too, and all the South Africa. Ah, I love South
So I,
Africa.
Fantastic. Well done, though.
yeah.
That's an awesome start to the day and great week of happenings there. Yeah, and on my front, I've just fantastic things happening as well. Jackie's invited me to be one of the speakers later in the new week in terms of the literacy space. So I said yes, definitely to that one. And Carol, looking so forward to some of my students of my Ignite program joined us yesterday at
I know.
the YEA introduction, and there are more to come. So we're working on getting a bigger group in there. So they are excited about that. And Susie, you and I doing exactly the same thing. Guess where I was this morning? In a meeting. And all week I've just been researching podcast equipment because I've now got my second one coming up, lined up for a third potential one starting early next year. So it is happening, and you and I were doing exactly the same thing this week. So
Wow.
Thank
I'm
you. If you
really
know
proud.
any farmers, send them my way. I need to
I
see
will do
their
so.
work.
I will do so.
I will be sending you many. Because we have
Hey.
many farmers in YEA, many,
All
many,
right.
many that have big farms. So
Yes.
yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
Cool. That's
Okay.
great.
Awesome.
Awesome. So, ladies, thank you. This has been an interesting discussion.
Oh my,
What a way to improvise on from our usual schedule. Hope everyone watching has enjoyed this, and please like, share, subscribe, and contact either one of us if you would like to feature on our podcast. Go well.
Beautiful.
thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Okay.
Megan.
One we stand.